is a YouTube article centered around the theme of 3 miles, crafted to be interpreted as a journey, story, or transformation without focusing on physical handling or performance conditions. It blends narrative style with cinematic storytelling, ideal for a documentary-style video or vlog. 33 miles, a journey that changed everything. In a world obsessed with destinations, sometimes it's the journey itself that tells the real story. Welcome to 33 miles. Not just a measure of distance, but a stretch of road where life unfolded, where transformation happened, and where stories were written in rubber, dust, and quiet moments of clarity. Whether you're on foot, behind the wheel, or just watching from a screen, this is more than just movement. It's a metaphor, a memory, and a message all in one. This is not a race. This is not about speed. This is about what 33 miles can mean when every mile carries meaning. The first mile, the beginning. Every journey begins with a question. The first of these 33 miles was not about leaving a place, it was about chasing a feeling. Maybe it was curiosity, maybe it was escape, maybe it was the urge to prove something, to the world, or more often, to ourselves. The tires hum, the scenery is familiar but already fading behind. You don't look back, not because you're not sentimental, but because the road ahead has already started pulling you in. That's the magic of mile 1. It's the moment you say yes to something unknown. Miles 2 to 5 shaking off the noise. By the second or third mile, you begin to notice how far the silence reaches. Not just outside, but inside. The noise of life, the calendar reminders, the comments, the comparison, the chaos, starts to fall away. You're not answering anyone. You're not trying to impress. You're just being. Maybe you roll the window down. Maybe you put on a song that no one else understands. Maybe it's been months since you felt this still, even while moving. These early miles are about reclaiming space. Mental space, emotional space, space to think without filters. Mile 6 the realization. Mile 6 is where it hits you. This journey, these 33 miles, isn't just physical. It's emotional, it's personal. It's not just about where you're going, but who you're becoming along the way. You begin to remember things you'd forgotten. Not because you didn't care, but because life had been too loud for too long. Maybe it's the sound of a parent's laugh. Maybe it's the taste of something you loved as a child. Maybe it's a dream you shelved years ago, that suddenly feels possible again. Miles 7 to 10 the unexpected detour. Nothing worth experiencing comes without surprise. Somewhere between miles 7 and 10, the road changes. Maybe literally, maybe metaphorically, you take a wrong turn. Or life throws one at you. You end up on a gravel path instead of smooth asphalt. You hit a storm. You lose signal. The metaphor deepens. But here's the truth. Detours define us more than destinations ever could. In these miles, you learn patience. You learn problem solving. You learn that the scenic route might have been the better one all along. Miles 11 to 15 the conversations that matter. In life and on the road, some of the best moments happen in quiet company. Maybe you have someone in the passenger seat. Maybe you're just reflecting on voices from the past. Either way, miles 11 to 15 are filled with the conversations that stick. The kind where someone says something simple that suddenly explains everything. Or the kind where silence feels more honest than any word. This part of the journey is about connection, to people, to places, to pieces of yourself you left behind. Mile 16 the mirror. Mile 16 is halfway. It's the mirror moment. You look at yourself, not in the literal rear view, but internally. You see who you were when you started. You compare it to who you're becoming. And maybe, for the first time in a long time, you like what you see. Not because you're perfect, not because you've arrived, but because you're growing, and growth, even the painful kind, is beautiful. This is the mile where your purpose starts to sharpen. Where the journey stops being a reaction and becomes a decision. Miles 17 to 20 the unexpected beauty. There are moments on any journey when beauty sneaks up on you. Maybe it's a sunset at mile 18. Or a view you didn't expect. Or a stranger's smile that reminds you the world isn't as cold as it sometimes feels. These are the in-between moments, the kind you can't plan, can't fake, and can't repeat. You realize that even in a world filled with stress, fear, and complexity, there's still beauty everywhere. If you're moving slowly enough to notice it. Miles 21 to 25 reflection and healing. These miles aren't loud, they're soft. They're where you remember who hurt you, and forgive them, even if they don't know. Where you forgive yourself, for not being perfect, for failing, for waiting too long. Maybe you stop at the side of the road. Maybe you cry. Maybe you laugh harder than you have in years. These are the healing miles, where you drop emotional weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. Mile 26, the letter you never sent. Mile 26 is personal. It's the mile where you mentally write that letter, to someone who changed your life. Or broke it, or saved it. Maybe it's to a parent who's gone. Maybe to a friend you lost. Maybe to the person you used to be. You don't need to send it. Just saying the words is enough. This is the part of the journey where closure doesn't come in packages. It comes in understanding. Miles 27 to 30, the build-up. The end is in sight, but you're in no rush. You start to realize, it was never about reaching the finish line. It was about what the miles revealed. The music gets turned up. The wind feels different. You've found rhythm. You've found peace. You've found something that can't be named but can absolutely be felt. These miles aren't about change anymore. They're about celebration. Mile 31, the return. You don't go back the same. Mile 31 begins the journey home, but with new eyes. The world didn't change. You did. The streets are familiar, but they greet you differently. Or maybe you're just more awake to them now. You realize you can't always run from life, but you can take these journeys to remind yourself why you live it. Miles 32 to 33, the arrival. The final 2 miles. They aren't about an epic twist or a grand ending. They're about quiet arrival. About stepping back into your world wiser, lighter, more whole. You understand now. 33 miles wasn't a drive. It was a reset. A therapy session with no words. A moving meditation with no app. A personal retreat with no itinerary. And when you finally park, turn off the ignition, and step out, you smile. Because you know, no matter what comes next, you've got 33 miles of clarity behind you. And sometimes, that's all you need to move forward. Closing thoughts. What's your 33 miles? This wasn't just our story. It could be yours. Maybe your 33 miles is a road trip. Or a walk. Or a quiet afternoon with no plans. Whatever it is, find it. Take it. Let it change you. Because when life gets loud, and the world gets heavy, sometimes the best thing you can do is just go. Not to escape, but to remember. To reconnect. To reclaim. This was 33 miles. Not just a distance. A destination for the soul. Would you like a matching video title, description, and hashtags for this story?